In the tranquility of the Zen monastery, the air was filled with a sense of peace and introspection. The master, revered for his profound wisdom and simplicity, was teaching a multitude of disciples. However, as the number of seekers grew, so did the need for a larger space. Just outside the monastery's humble walls lived a wealthy merchant. Known for his vast wealth and influence, he often observed the comings and goings of the disciples with a mixture of curiosity and respect. One day, moved by the cramped conditions of devoted learners, the merchant decided to make a generous donation. He approached the Zen master with a proposal. "Master," he began, "I have noticed the space here is quite limited for your teachings. I wish to contribute to the expansion of this sacred place." The master, who was tending to a small garden, looked up with a gentle smile. "The world is boundless, yet we choose to confine ourselves. But if you feel it's necessary for the learning of these seekers, your contribution is welcome." Elated by the master's acceptance, the merchant promptly arranged for 500 pieces of gold, called ryo, to be delivered to the monastery. It was a sum so large that it could sustain an average person for over 100 years. Upon handing over the sack of gold to the master, the merchant's chest swelled with pride. He anticipated words of profound gratitude and perhaps public acknowledgement of his generosity. The master accepted the sack with the same calm demeanor he exhibited while tending to his garden. "All right. I will take it," he said, his voice as serene as a still lake. The merchant, puzzled by the master's lack of enthusiasm, attempted to emphasize the magnitude of his donation. "Master, in that sack are 500 ryo. It's a significant amount, even for someone of my standing." The master, placing the sack beside him, continued tending to his garden. "You told me that before," he replied, unperturbed. Feeling his pride bruised, the merchant pressed further, "Such a donation is rare, master. It is an amount that signifies my deep respect and support for your teachings." The master paused, looking up from the garden with eyes reflecting a deep, unspoken understanding. "Do you want me to thank you for it?" he asked, his voice echoing the tranquility of the morning breeze. The merchant, taken aback, responded, "I think you ought to. It is customary to express gratitude for such generosity." The master, setting down his gardening tool, turned to face the merchant fully. "Why should I? Is gratitude not a feeling that emerges naturally, like the bloom of a lotus in a serene pond? Why do you seek to stir the water?" The merchant, feeling a mix of confusion and irritation, retorted, "But is it not polite, master, to thank someone who has done you a great service?" The master, standing up, walked over to the merchant and looked into his eyes with a depth that seemed to pierce through the very fabric of being. "Tell me, who is the true giver here? Is it not the one who relinquishes something of himself? In giving, you have gained space in your heart, unburdened by the gold that weighed in your hands. The giver should be thankful, for he has been given the opportunity to let go, to detach from possessions that bind us to the material world." The merchant stood there, his mind grappling with the master's words. He had come expecting to be lauded, to feel the satisfaction of being a benefactor. Instead, he found himself questioning the very nature of giving and gratitude. The master continued, "In the act of giving, we receive. In letting go, we are freed. This is the essence of true generosity. It needs no thanks, for its reward is in the act itself." The merchant, feeling a sense of awakening, bowed slightly. "Master, your wisdom surpasses my understanding. I came here as a giver, but I leave as a humble student." The master smiled, a smile that seemed to radiate a profound understanding of the world. "Then you have received the greatest gift of all, the beginning of wisdom." As the merchant walked away, his steps were lighter, his heart unburdened. The gold he had given away seemed insignificant compared to the insight he had gained. The Zen master returned to his garden, the sack of gold lying untouched. For him, the true treasure lay not in the gold but in the opportunity to impart a lesson that transcended material wealth, a lesson in the true nature of giving and gratitude. In the days that followed, the monastery slowly transformed with the use of the merchant's gold. However, the greatest transformation occurred in the hearts of those who had witnessed the exchange between the master and the merchant, a transformation that spoke of the profound wisdom in the art of giving without expectation, in finding gratitude in the act of letting go. And so, the story of the wealthy merchant and the Zen master became a lesson passed down through generations, a reminder that true generosity lies not in the act of giving, but in the freedom it bestows upon the giver.